How's it, guys, and welcome to Getting to Grips, brought to you by Godox SA and Golden Power Batteries. So today I'm actually going to be sharing on some of the stuff I do when I do shoot black and whites. I'm not saying it's the only way to do this or it's the must way to do this. It's a way that I actually do it, and I know that all the images that I'm shooting has the same setting, and I'll show you that in Capture One. So what we're going to be doing is I'm going to be starting off with some almost like a high key. So we'll have bright white backgrounds, and then we'll have some contrast and stuff with the model, which I will be introducing just now. Then we'll do some low key stuff. Well, I'll introduce a couple of lights in on the back where we will do a shot with a single light. Then we'll introduce a second light just to actually give a bit of outline and do a bit of low-key type black and whites. And then over here we have a wooden floor template that I actually picked up from a flooring place, and we'll do some black and whites on there, so hopefully then that will also give us a bit more sort of texture in the background, give us a bit more depth in the images. Right, so what am I going to be using today? I am going to be using my Canon 6D. I'm going to use my 24-105 lens, my Godox X Pro 2C trigger, and I'm going to be using two 8400 Pros to light up the white background, and an 8300 Pro as my main key lights. And if you hear things like key lights or main light, just know that it's the light that we light up our subject with. That's going to be the main light. Also, for all the light meter findus out there, I do have a light meter with me today, which I will attempt to use in studio. I mean, I like to do trial and error, but we'll see how that goes and how that works. So let me introduce our model for today, and again it's the amazing Jean-Marie. Okay, so as you can see, it's Jean-Marie's looking like she's somewhere from the 80s, Fright Night, vampire-y type sort of look, but but we're going to actually shoot this with a white background, so I'm just going to turn on these background lights. And let's see. Right. So the reason why I'm using two lights on the background mainly is because I like to get a bit more even spread across on the background. I mean, we could have one light behind the model and do exactly the same thing. It's just you start seeing the fall off in the corners just a little bit more easily. Okay, so we're ready. Let's set this light. Let's get you in position. Just move forward a little bit. I'm going to turn this one on as well before I put it into position. Okay, I think we're going to start off about the... So, let's get this light meter. Okay, so pure white backgrounds. Pure white backgrounds can be a bit tricky because you don't want too much light to come back, because as you're bouncing light against that background, it's turned into a giant light source. So you're literally going to get a lot of light that's actually bouncing back. So what you often have to do is make sure whatever you're metering in the front for your model is what is metered at the back of her head from the light actually coming back. So what I'm going to be doing is, I think I'm going to be shooting at f8, 1/25 at 100 ISO for this setup. So let me turn this thing on. Ooh. All right. So we've got, that's on 16th power at the moment. Yep, and I'm just going to make sure everything is on. So let me just take a reading. Just come over a little bit. Okay, I'm just going to take a reading in front of Jean-Marie's face. that one and thing. The light's just a little bit too far back. Alright, let's take another reading here. Light meters. That's 5.6, so that tells me that needs to be up a little bit. And let's it's much better trial and error. Let me just get that there. Yeah, it's 5.6. I want F8. This is like really. That's why I don't like light meters. Okay, let's get that one, and then I'll get the reading from the back. See if my arms are long enough. F8 on the back, 1/25th, and I'm just going to get this one. So the back reading on the light meter is cool. I'm just going to take this up 2/3 on the front, which should then give me F8. Okay, just to prove to you, F8, 1/25th, I'm not lying. So with the meter reading at F8 to the front of Jean-Marie, to the meter reading of F8 behind, I know that Jean-Marie is not going to be swamped by a whole load of light coming forward. So that means, if my calculations are right, that white paper should actually be around about F11. Let's see if I'm right. And just turn trigger on, set that. Whoa, this is F16, but that should be around about F11. But F16, to me, that's a bit too much under. But let's see. Let's check it. Let's check this out. So the first shot I'm just going to do, just to let you know, I am shooting, well, with black and white. I actually shoot just with raw only. I do not put the JPEG into monochrome and then do adjustments in the camera. I shoot just a raw image, and then in Capture One, once I'm happy with what the lighting setup, then I will actually do a couple of black and white slider controls, and every shot that I do after that will actually have that same setting. So I'm almost grading the black and white actually in Capture One, so the raw is actually getting those settings applied every time. Have we got any comments? Any questions? Any comments? Any shout outs? Anybody? Nobody. Alright, so let's take the first shot. So we're going to be looking, first shot I'm going to do is going to be no flash, no picture. So we should absolutely see black. Just bring up the just bring up Capture One. So we're going to actually get the black frame up. So basically any lights that are actually on in studio is not actually going to be affecting my shot whatsoever. So let's do a shot. I don't like working on a tripod. Just to let you know. Alright, that's cool, keep it there. No flash, no picture. Turn the flash on this time. I'm even forgetting to turn the lights or the trigger on. One of the two. Okay, so if I look at that exposure, just put me onto this camera here, Talia. Just make it the bit bigger on the Capture One. So basically this is the exposure that we actually got. so we can actually make this one actually see. So I shoot in color because that's my raw image, so I'm going to be shooting in color. That's going to be, and I'm going to, once I'm happy with the lighting, I then do the adjustments on Capture One. So if we have a look at this one, yeah, so the exposure is fine now. I'm just going to come down a little bit more on the back, and I'm going to come up a little bit. You know what, I'm going to take this off this tripod just now. Okay, let's just get that up on the screen, Telly, full screen, so I can see, and then maybe put me down in the corner, because I just want to make sure that I've got that light right. Just come over a little bit, okay, and just turn your head slightly up there. And I'm going to go horizontal. Right. Okay. So that's cool. So what I'm going to do is actually just go across, and I'm going to actually change the sliders to be black and white, and then see what we can actually get out of that, what detail I can bring out. So it's going to basically be your reds and your yellows in this shot, because obviously skin tones, lipsticks, and all that type of thing. The rest of it is just white and black, so there's no blues, there's no greens. So let me just do that. Just give me the mouse here. I'm just going to go, so in Capture One I will go to the adjustment settings. Then you would actually have your black and white, and then you will have, just enable that, which will then obviously put it into a black and white image, and I will then just adjust some of the sliders onto what I want. Now obviously working with the bright white backgrounds and stuff, it will be less noticeable, because now there will be nothing on green, there'll be nothing on cyan, there'll be nothing on blue, and there'll be nothing on magenta. So I'm just going to double click all these back to the center there. Okay, so I'm going to slide just a bit more from the more red. I want it to be more hikey. So I'm going to leave that setting there. So whatever shot I actually take now will actually be carried across each image that we actually do here. So with this set of images, I'll have these settings. When we actually do the low key, I will actually change the settings again. And that will only apply on the images that I shoot after that change. And then when we go to the wooden panel, I'll do probably another setting change, and then that way all my images in Capture One have the settings for the black and white that I actually want. Okay, so I'm going to take a couple more images like this, and I'm just going to get up there and just look at me. Put more square in front of me. Just turn that back shoulder around. That's cool. So we're going to get a bit more shadow on that side. Okay. So this is like typical images of now shooting in black and white. Maybe put me on the other camera, Tali, onto camera 4. Alright. So with the white backgrounds, obviously everything is bright. It's almost like high key with some shadow and some highlight and stuff within the shot. If I now want to change this and say, right, now I want to go low key. So what would I actually do to change this into a low key shot? I'm going to do one shot with Jean-Marie in the black outfit before she goes and change, because she's going to actually go and do a change for the low key one. But I just want to show you how we can actually create separation when the person is wearing black. Okay, so we can actually create a bit of a drama in that shot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn off these backlights completely. I'm going to leave the white background in place and see what we get. So the best way to do that is take a shot. Take a shot. Wow! So just by turning those backlights off, we have now just annihilated everything. So what I'm going to say is black. What is black? Black is absence of light. So no light on the background, it becomes black. So we're actually going to be lighting from behind just now for Jean-Marie. So I'm going to set up that softbox. So I'm going to use a strip box on the 8400, and I'm going to point it forward. Just point it forward, because then enough light should actually fall onto the side of Jean-Marie to give us a bit of rim light, a bit of highlight on the hair, and let's see what we can do there. So let me get that one set up. Any questions so far? Is anybody watching? It's often when you do this, you think, man, is anyone even watching? Are they even there? So also with that one, with the last shot we did, it just shows you that with a white background, we can absolutely make it black. So I didn't even have to pull the black background down. I didn't even have to put a grey background in, nothing. So just goes to show you the power of a grid on a beauty dish. Okay. Right, so the 8400 I've actually got on the back here. It's just got a strip box, and remember, a strip box doesn't come out like this, it comes out like this. So it's almost like 270 degrees out from the actual strip box. So we want to feather the side and the side of the jacket just to create a bit of separation there, and let's see what happens. I may need to change the power of that light. I'm going to probably take this one right the way down to 1/28 power, because I don't want it too bright. Let's just, ooh. Let's take a shot and see what happens. Did anything happen? Did the light even fire? Let's put that. Yeah, I got it. Let's put it 164. I don't think that light's even firing. Let me just see what is happening here. It's off. Alright. Modeling lamp. So what I'm going to do is, best way to check that is turn off the key light and fire with just a backlight. It's actually in the way. But anyway, we can take a shot just to see what we've got. And it's very faint. So we will put up the power to about 132. Now I can't see because my glasses are low. So we're just getting a very faint line there. Let's put this, as I said, trial and error. It's great. Okay, so we got that. I'm just going to move it over slightly because it's now in pick. And I'm starting to get a bit of a flare there. So we've got a bit of a rim light there. Just going to take it up a third. Sure, third is too much. Just getting that backlight set in. I think that one is cool. So we've got a bit of separation there. And that one we're going to switch back on. Switch the key light back on. I'm just going to turn the modeling lamp off. There you go. All right. So I'm just going to loosen this. Just put your chin up slightly. Yeah, so I'm just going to move this one. Either the softbox is moving over or you're moving over. All right, let's take another shot. So there we've got a little bit of separation as the other side falls into the shadows and stuff like that. So just a very simple setup. You can move the light slightly, but I'm not pointing it at the model. Okay, this thing is pointing straight out the way. So I'm actually not pointing it directly at the model. So that's another thing that to remember. Is if you're pointing directly at the model, you're going to get a lot more light wrapping around. So if you just want that small little slither of light, then that's what you're going to do. And take one more shot before you change, Jean-Marie. So there you go. So lots of shadow, lots of cool stuff happening in the actual image there. I'm going to get Jean-Marie to actually change, because we're going to have a change into a top where there's a bit more pattern, a little bit of reds in there, and then we'll actually get a different image out. So just put me across onto another camera there. I'll get a crick in the neck looking up. Okay, so the next one we're going to do, we're also going to do a lot more low key. We're going to introduce a hat. We're going to introduce some patterning on the top that Jean-Marie is going to be putting in. And we'll play around with the light separation. And opposite to our key light side. So our key light is going to be there. And what I'm using is actually only a small beauty dish. I normally like to use my bigger beauty dish. But I'm using just I think it's a 42 centimeter beauty dish with a grid on it. So this is the actual key light modifier, and that is sitting on an S2 bracket in an AD300 Pro. So that's clipped in place. So with that, and obviously with the strip box on the 8400 Pro, so these are the two lights I'm going to use to try and create some nice dramatic low-key type images. Any questions out there? Anybody on the chat? Nothing there yet. So we'll do probably a whole load of, well, we'll do a whole load of shots on this, and then we'll actually move across to the homemade wooden panel background and try and get a whole load of different shots out of there. I wanted it to try and be Western. I was trying to find a cowboy hat but couldn't find one, but we'll get that sorted. Let me just move this one out the way. Alright. So we just wait for Anna-Marie to change, Jean-Marie to change. Okay, so we'll just wait for any comments that are coming in, because we've been working around the clock to try and fix the comments problem that we had over the last couple of weeks, where people weren't able to get their comments through to us, but that should be all resolved. So I'm just going to take this off the tripod because it's very limiting for me. Let me just move that out of the way. Okay, so I'm going to be keeping my camera settings at f8, 1/25 of a second, ISO 100 for this next lot of shots. We will be changing it slightly for this one. I'll probably go to a f5.6, and we'll be changing also the modifier as well. Welcome back, Jean-Marie.
You want me?
Okay. So we're going to have you basically in the same position. So come forward here. Cotton Eye Joe.
Yes.
All right. So I'm going to move this light slightly. Just tilt it a little bit. Should I take another meter reading? I don't know. This thing gets me into trouble. These light meters get me into trouble. I think.
Check the replies manually. Pakamani, no, he got ignored.
Oh.
He nearly experienced ghosting.
But the comments were coming through earlier.
This is not doing it.
Eh?
Okay. So first,
Yeah.
Clint
Yeah.
asks what software is on the PC.
Okay, so the software that I'm actually using is actually Capture One. I just find it's better from a tethering point of view. But as you say that, you know what happens. But yeah, for tethering and for doing the adjustments on the raw, on the fly, I find Capture One much, much better. So I use Capture One.
Then Pakamani says, how much of a factor does the background play in getting even light?
The background, obviously, if it's like a seamless paper background, it actually does give a nice even. If you're only using one light, so if you imagine you've got a reflector dish on the back of the model and it's a round reflector dish, you're going to get that sort of round shape on the back. So the light will start falling off in the corners, and then it's not a pure white, too wide. It sort of narrows in. So if you were doing 2 or 3 people, that white would actually be falling off quite quickly by the other 2 people on the outside. That's the only reason I use 2 lights on the background, is so I can evenly light the background a bit more across. Hope that answered that question.
Okay, we got another one.
Okay.
Okay, give me a second.
It's fine. All the questions, fire the questions. I don't know, this thing doesn't work for me. Let me just see, I can't put it under the hat because you're going to block the light. So you literally now got to put it. That's why I had my camera on a tripod, is so I can push the trigger button. That says F5.6. That's probably, yeah. Any other question?
Yes.
Okay.
Clint asked another question just now.
Okay.
What's on the main source flash?
What's the main source flash? Well, it's an 8300 Pro with a 42 centimeter beauty dish, and it has a grid. So it has a grid actually on the actual the main light. So let me just show you this. Yeah, while we're here, let's answer these questions. Sorry. Okay. So this is the actual main. So there it is, the 8300 Pro with a gridded beauty dish. It is a silver beauty dish inside, and it's sitting on a S2 bracket. So that is what our main light is. And just get that back in there.
Some other questions coming in on the Godox one too.
Okay. So why is it not coming through on yours? It was coming through on mine earlier. That's weird. Okay. Questions. Questions is cool. I'm just going to do another meter reading here. This is actually becoming a pain. Yeah. F8125. That's cool. Right.
The other one, yes.
But I was getting comments through earlier.
You know how it is on live stream.
On live, who knows what we... You know what, I mean, I tested all this today. I even got everything working. I even...
Okay, next question.
Next question.
Okay. Clifford asks, would you put a second strip light on the other side to get some definition on the side? It may be overkill.
It depends on what you were shooting, and if you wanted to shoot that, like for instance, if I do like fitness models and that type of stuff, I will use 2 strip boxes either side and almost sandwiched the model in between to get that definition. You can actually put another strip box on the other side to actually get a bit of feathering on that side to create more separation. But what I think I was trying to sort of go for was like have a low key. A lot of shadow, very little highlights, and even very little midtones on the shot.
Okay.
Another one. Okay. That's fine.
I'm not even done. I haven't even checked golden power batteries yet. Okay. Petra asks, why do you use a beauty dish and not an umbrella?
The only umbrella I do have is a UB165. I like to use the beauty dish, especially with the portraiture stuff, because it is quite a small light source, and I do have a nice tight grid for the beauty dish. I also sometimes I use the ADS65S, and I also put a grid on that as well. And I use that as well for some of the low-key black and white stuff I do. Right, I'm going to take a shot just to see what happens here.
Oh, thank goodness. Thank goodness it's just Pakamani. Pakamani being the hype guy.
Okay, so also on Petra's question, so obviously the light is going to be a lot smaller, a lot more concentrated with the grid. So you'll see that if I put the 65 centimeter softbox on with a grid, I get a little bit more spread. So down the hand, if you can just bring that image across, on that, you can bring it across full screen. So you see the hand there, it's actually more in the shadow where the head is, the face is actually lit up. So another reason why I would use a 165 if you want a bit more spread, then I would actually use that. I tend not to use too many umbrellas because I think I've sold all my umbrellas, but the only one I actually have is the UB165, which I use for lots of fill when I do model agency stuff and stuff like that. So let's have another one. Just look up into the light there, just turn your head back. I'm going to move the beauty dish back a bit just now. And I'm going to give you okay, and so it's just also with these sort of tight lit black and whites, it adds quite a bit of a mystery to the image, I find, and I enjoy shooting stuff like that. I'm just going to change this position of this, and we're going to create. Yeah, be careful. I'm very dangerous with a beauty dish. Very dangerous with a beauty dish. Let's just get this one across. Just want to make sure I'm in line with my weight and my leg. All right. So hopefully we'll get a bit of shadow underneath the hat, and then we'll get. So don't look too far up into the light. I'm going to just take the shot here quickly. Hopefully the backlight will give me a... Yeah. So we get that very bright image there. So just tilt your head up just a little bit more. Going to get some light under. Yeah. So we're just getting a little bit of the light actually under the hat, just to give that bit of shape. And you'll see that we've now got a bit of light hitting the background behind on that as well. So we've got the strip, we've got the bit of light hitting the background just to create that bit of glow behind, and we've got a bit of a rim light on the arm and even the hat. So that's cool. Let's do a couple of shots like this. Okay, look at that, it's cool. Looks quite cool on that. Tell you should try and go back to where the stream is, because that's where I was seeing the messages come in. I tell you, I think I've got the easiest job just taking photographs and explaining what I'm doing. I feel the pain of the stream, of the people that manage the stream and the production behind the scenes here. That's cool. It's not coming up there either.
On the bright side, you've got 15 people.
Ah, we've got 15 people. Soon it'll be 15,000. Okay, let's take a couple more shots of this. Any questions about this setup? I kind of like the way the glow is actually happening behind, with the beauty dish hitting the background. I didn't think it would actually hit that far, but actually it does, so that's quite cool. Alright, Is the image is actually changing on the screen? There you go. Is there stuff coming?
It's a YouTube comment.
Okay. Hello, YouTube.
Pictures are definitely changing.
Okay, that's cool. No, these are quite cool. I'm going to actually do a couple more. This is like Cotton Eye Joe. So yeah, that's like really cool. I really like that. Do you want to try your red hat?
Okay.
Let's try the red hat. Let's see what we get with that. And because I have increased the red on my sliders in Capture One, I'm hoping it'll be a bit brighter on the red hat. YouTube comments coming in.
Charles asks, do you use any type of filters when you capture full portraits?
No, this is my portraits. I'm using plain, straightforward camera lens, and that is it. I know there is other things when you start getting on the creative side, especially if the models are wearing sparkly, which camera am I on? Sparkly dresses and stuff like that. Am I on camera 3?
No, you're not.
Yeah, the stream director is giving me a hard case today. So if you're taking pictures of, like, say for instance, a sparkly dress, so you can actually get those filters you can put on that actually gives a burst, like a star burst on the actual glitter. So you can use those type of things, but I don't have any of those. I shoot a lot of sort of beauty portraiture and corporate portraiture and stuff like that. So I don't have any of those filters, but I do plan to get some of those soon. So answer the question. I see there's even a Facebook one in or not.
No. Not Facebook.
Okay. I'm going to come in a little bit tighter. So yeah, you can see the hat is a lot more brighter in this one because I did push up my sliders on the actual red hat. I'm just going to move this light again before we go to the other setup. Yeah, we'll use the black hat on there. I'm just going to bring this. No, other way. Well, you can do it that way. That's fine. We can do it that way. We can do the opposite and the actual. Right, just come, bring your arm around that way. That's cool. And it does help when you actually have a model that knows what she's doing. I think I'm just going to move this light a little bit more forward onto you. I'm going to come in tight with this one.
Okay, Clint has another question.
Okay.
Why don't photographers that shoot like this shoot f1.8 or f1.4?
Because there'd be too much light in my in my images. If I was looking at doing like say for instance I had a very bad background, then I would look at actually probably them putting smaller or more wide open apertures. But in studio I tend to go between f5.6 and f10 when I'm doing portraiture. And when I'm doing product photography, I even go sometimes up to f16, depending on the product and everything else. So it's very rare that I would actually shoot wide open in studio only if I wanted to do a portrait with very soft focus from the ears back, then I would actually look at opening up again a lens where I would open it up and shoot like that. So, and then I'll probably have to use high-speed sync because there'd be just too much light. Any other questions there, Talia? Is my images coming through? That's what I want to know. No, the image didn't change. I don't see an image change there. Just go back to the tethering tab there, Talia. Just to make sure I'm on. See, I opened my mouth about Capture One being the best tethering application, and alright, cool. I'm going to come in tight here. Just straighten your head, that's it. And then we get some low-key images. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to actually we're going to change the setup. I'm going to go over to the actual wooden board that I picked up from a flooring company just up the road. They had these things, it was old floorboards that I put together for a display. I thought, I'm going to use that as a background. So let me change my setup here. I'm also going to be using an AD300, but it's going to be with a different modifier. So I'm going to turn this one off. Go down there and pick up. So this is the AD-S65W. It's double diffused, so I've got the diffuser inside as well as on the outside. I'm not going to put the grid on, so I want a bit of light to actually spill onto the background and show off the wood and try and get a nice effect on the image. So again, AD300 Pro, my go-to light. What is going on here? Right. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to try and feather as much as I can just to make sure I do get a bit of spill onto the back. I don't want too much on there. And this, obviously this one, the S65W does have the white inside, so this is not the silver light modifier. Okay, all right. Jean-Marie, do you want to just stand there in front? I'm just going to see where I can put this light. So if you can put me on camera 4, Talia. So I'm going to actually be... Okay, so we got the background. We're going to center her just a little bit, and then we're going to actually filter or feather this light, so you can see that this softbox is actually pointing towards this direction and not directly at the model. So hopefully we're going to get enough light in there to hit the background in sort of a space over here somewhere and light up Jean-Marie in a sort of a lowish key. Okay, I just want to see which one. We got this set up as F16. So let's see. And as I said, I'm going to change my camera down to, if you can bring up Capture One on a full screen, And just go to the tether tab. It's the one behind Getting to Grips logo at the top. No, it's on the icon menu. There, that's it. So I'm going to go at 125, and we're going to be going at f5.6. Let's see what happens. Can only do a test shot. Too much light on the background for my liking, so I'm going to bring this light a little bit more round. Okay, you can put me in the camera there. I think let me just do another one. Now that one, I kind of like that one a little bit better. So this one is actually a darker shot, which I love shadows and stuff in black and whites. So with this, I haven't even really changed my slider controls on this. I've kept my slider, what I actually set right in the beginning, I've actually kept it all the way through. And as I explained, if I wanted to change the slider slightly on my black and white settings in Capture One, I could do that, and from the images from that point, we'll actually apply those new settings. The rest of the batch will have the original settings that I set, which is what I like in Capture One. Okay, let me come in tight. Am I on there, Talia? It's not coming in. Go again on tight, bring that one up again there, like you had just there. It's always, I'm never going to say Capture One is the best tethering software ever again, because then it gives me nonsense. But these are kind of cool, so just turn a little bit to that. That's cool. It's amazing what you can do with just a piece of wooden floor that they were going to throw out. And I thought, let me keep that in studio, which was quite cool. Do you know how to pose like a cowgirl? There you go. As I said, I was hoping to get a cowboy hat because I thought it would suit this background quite well. Any questions in there, Tony? I think that is actually coming in. I'm just going to move a little bit. And also, when you're taking photos, don't worry about actually moving around. Getting different angles. Stay on that side. There's a big smile on your face.
That's why.
Okay. Yeah, no. Our stream director Talia has brought up the Toy Story cowgirl on the screen for for Jean-Marie to copy. There you go. All right. So, looking at these images, I think they look quite cool. I think they're coming out quite nice. What I'm going to do is actually get, for those that don't like too much shadow, there is one easy fix: a whiteboard. So we're just going to This is also why I had the tripod. And we can fill in a little bit more light. Let me just, because it's very hard to zoom in and out when holding a whiteboard and there you go, there's a little bit more light filling there. So I don't know how you guys work with black and whites or how you would do it, but at the end of the day, if I'm planning to do black and white, I definitely plan my lighting a little bit different to the actual color. I would shoot in color, and then I would do the adjustments, and then I would actually make sure that we get nice contrast. And then also, if we just maybe zoom into the skin on that, bring that. Just want to make sure we're not losing detail in the skin. That one. I just want to go to some of the other ones here and just zoom in. See, so we're still maintaining detail on the skin. Jean-Marie is probably going to say, "Don't go that close to me." But we're still keeping and maintaining detail in the skin, which is also important, because sometimes you can actually overpower with light and you lose a lot of that detail, which you don't want to actually do. So making sure you keep detail in the skin, in the clothing, or wherever is actually being lit up, you keep that detail in. Okay, any other questions there? Well, I'm going to take a couple of more shots. And then I'm going to take a couple more, because you're looking so good. Keep it there. Just look up towards the light a little bit. Bring your eyes to the center. That's it. Oh, we're zoomed right the way in there. Let's just zoom out. So we're definitely getting the detail on the patterning as well as the clothing, but these are looking cool. I kind of like it.
It's cowboyish.
Cowboyish. We should have got you a big buckle. Any? No more questions?
There's another question.
Okay. From?
Yeah. Clint.
Okay.
Says, I read the V1. Okay, wait. Hold on. I couldn't read that. I think that's an L, but I'm not sure. Could be an I.
The V1?
VI 150 or VL 150 and VI 300 or VL 300.
Which is all the consistent lights?
Is a hybrid flash and a continuous light. We saw it at Gabe's workshop. Would you be able to do a video on it?
Will I be able to do a video on the VL 300s? And I did do a video where we actually mixed flash and consistent lights together, where I actually used the VL, it was the VL 300 as the key light, and then I used flash for the background and stuff like that. So I have done some of that, but obviously I want to probably do a little bit more with the consistent lights, because Godox is really pushing that way with the introduction of all these amazing tube lights, LED lights and everything else. So I'll be looking forward to doing more consistent light stuff on Getting to Grips. So yeah, no, we would definitely do that. Okay, so I'm gonna just take one more shot, and then I'm gonna, because we've got the finger. There's the finger shot. Okay, that's cool. So obviously any of the lighting that I have used, the 8300s, the 8400s, the modifiers. Well, they do the 55 centimeter beauty dish with grids and C-stands and softboxes. All of that stuff you can actually get from Godox SA on www. It should be below. Yeah. So it's below there, www.godox.co.za, and use my code and you can score yourself an instant discount online when you're purchasing from their website. Also, we've got golden power batteries. So my white backgrounds, which is over here, which is behind the softbox, which is still on and probably still flashing. So all my backgrounds I get from golden power batteries, the white, the grey, the black, the pink, my green screen, which I also use in studio, all from golden power batteries, www.gpbbatteries, I always get that one wrong, .co.za, and you can use the code GPBKJD to get an instant discount.
We have another question.
Okay.
But since it's not too far ahead, I want to put those back up. AB says, "Hi, sorry I joined late. Can you tell me more about the lights you are currently using?"
Okay, so the lights I'm currently using are the AD300 Pro. If I get this one out here, so I was actually using these ones. So this is AD300 Pro. It is in the S2 bracket. Because my beauty dish is a Bowens mount, so that's what we were using. We were using a beauty dish with a grid. So the beauty about these are like my go-to lights in studio. I use them a hell of a lot, and I find them absolutely amazing. So that's the AD300 Pro that you can get from Godox, and I was using the AD400. Well, let's get this one across here. So I was also using the AD400 Pro. I love the AD series because they are battery pack, and being in South Africa, those that know, you never know when load shedding is going to return. So it's always good to have battery powered strobes. So that's what I've been using this evening. And there's been other stuff where I've been using the VL300 consistent lights, tubes and everything else, which I'm going to do some more of those later on future shows. So yeah, that's what I've been using. Anything else in there? Any other questions? No? Okay, and don't forget to subscribe okay, my stream director's giving me a thing here. Okay, Tamba Broadcast Systems, they are the sponsors of our streaming switcher units. Big shout out to them, because without them we wouldn't have that unit and we couldn't do this type of thing online and getting out to you guys. Also, the WhatsApp channel for Godox. Make sure you actually subscribe to that WhatsApp channel so you can stay up to date with what's happening, from workshops to lives to anything that Godox SA is doing does go on there, so you can scan that QR code and join on that channel. And then also subscribe to Godox SA's YouTube. Subscribe to my YouTube. But definitely get onto Godox SA's YouTube channel, subscribe there, follow them. We've got a lot of exciting content coming up in the near future as well. There's lots of planning in place, and there's going to be a lot more shows, different shows, actually appearing on the Godox SA's YouTube channel. And I think there's another question that came in.
Yeah. Santa says, what model is the last softbox you used?
The softbox on the 8400 was actually the 30 by 120 softbox. It's one of the smaller strip boxes. So that was it here. This is, and it is a Bowens mount. That's cool. It fits onto the 8400, fits into your S2 brackets. And you can get these from Godox SA. And as I said, if you look at buying these, you can get a discount by using Godox Carl D. I think it'll be on the screen there.
Clint asks, when is the next event you'll be at?
When's
the next event that you will be at?
That I will be at? Sure, I'm contemplating going to the one in was it outdoor photo, but I'm not sure I'm going to be able to make it. I've just got to check my dates. But I think I'm going to start planning. I'm going to start speaking to the guys at Godox SA. I'm going to start actually planning a workshop at head office. So yeah, I'm going to start planning those, and hopefully then we can see you guys there as well in person. Any other ones there? All cool? Well, I think... Oh yes. You'll see on the bottom of the screen here, the register for your free basic training. So in areas that you want the free basic training and the awesome workshops to be coming to your area, register there. Get as many people that you know that are interested in this type of thing, get them to register, and we can actually arrange really awesome workshops. I mean, the guys really go out of their way to offer you the best content on these workshops. I mean, the last one was in Cape Town. It was absolutely amazing. It blew people's minds on what was done there. So register, and let's let Godox SA share some love in your area. Okay, I think that's about it. So cheers for now. I'm Carl Daniels. You're watching Getting to Grips, brought to you by Godox SA and Golden Power Batteries, and we'll see you again next Tuesday. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you soon.
I want the sun.
Operation Night 2D.
Copy that.
Only your future is brighter than us. Shop Godox SA for your production equipment.